like to call upon our second presenter. As a Toastmaster for 10 years now, Toastmaster Joel Indrupati has been active in Manama Toastmasters Club. On the communication side, he has the rare distinction of representing Bahrain's Division C for 3 years successfully as a district finalist in Dubai, in Kuwait and in Jordan, and has won awards at district level. On the leadership side, he was a club president, an area official, a division governor, and also the PRO for the entire District 79, which then included 220 clubs in GCC countries and Jordan. He says he's proud to have been the ExCom member of the District 79 because the district won the world's #1 district award from Toastmasters International during his term in the District Executive Committee. He conducted several YLPs and speech craft sessions and even coordinated a gavel club for 1 year at Elite Suits in Sanabis. He is one of the sponsors of our TKS Toastmasters Club and the mentor of Indian School Toastmasters when it started. Among his other community activities, he served for 3 years as an honorary member of Indian School Bahrain's Executive Committee. He teaches at the University of Bahrain and is currently in the process of starting a Toastmasters Club for University of Bahrain students with 2 other Toastmaster colleagues. Please welcome Toastmaster Joel Indrupati.
Hello, check. I hope all of you are able to hear this. Is this the, maybe if I put it up a little higher, I don't know whether this.
Is it turned on?
The power is on. Is this on?
It's on.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I'm not shouting in,
It's okay.
so maybe I'll soon be able to reach. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Area Governor, the area officials for inviting me to this wonderful workshop that you are conducting for the members of these clubs in this area. I'm really honored to be here because this is one of the things that we as Toastmasters are expected to do. Learn how to write and deliver good speeches so that we can become better communicators, which is the entire mission of Toastmasters. So it's nice that the area governor and the area officials thought of having an event like this where all of us can learn and better ourselves. So thank you very much, Area Governor, and I'm glad that he put me in the company of some great people whom I admire in the form of Tiji and Ahmad Shukri and Jiju, and I'm a great admirer of these young people. I call them young because I'm a little older than all of these people, at least I think, or at least I would like you to believe. But friends, as I begin this, it's a very short period and I will be talking, as you heard, on the topic of writing for the ear and not for the eye. What I'll do is I'll just quickly just let me get the hang of this once. Jiju, what is that I just do? Yeah, okay, fine. All right, so friends, this is a short session on understanding speech writing. There are people who say that speeches can be written, and there are some people who say speeches need not be written. You can just say them out. Because, after all, you're speaking from your heart. If you do that, maybe that's better. Why do you think this happens? What do you feel? Do you think that we should write speeches, or we should try to only keep or have some main points and leave the rest to our writing or to our speaking?
Right. We should write.
We should write?
Yes.
Why should we write? By the way, I'm sorry, but I will not be there till the end of this program because there is something, and I requested your area governor to let me go in the beginning. So I will be interacting here itself, so that if there are any questions, you can ask me while I'm talking to you. So, why should we write?
You can play with words. You can bring in, you can bring in good phrases at the same time. You can play with words. In short term, I would say you can play.
Okay, you can play with words. That means you decide before itself what words you would like to use and effectively and where.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Anybody else?
But
Any other reason?
I think more than the words, usage of words, I think it is something to do with the organizing the points.
Which
Because words I feel should come from the heart.
you think I can't organize my thoughts in my mind? 1, 2, 3,
You
maybe
could
I'll
do that.
speak like this, then
Not
I'll speak like
exactly
this.
you do in a table topic.
Yeah.
But if you have an extended speech, perhaps it is better to have the points organized, structured. Then based
So
on
it
that,
gives you a structure. You are able to know what
structure.
words to use. You think there could be a proper structure. Anybody else with any other thought as to why we should write?
You can get the right transition between the points.
You can get the right transition between the points from one point to another. Thank you. I'm glad that some of you have touched on these points. Is it first of all necessary to write speeches? There are some arguments against writing a script. Why do you think people say that it's not necessary to write a speech?
You might forget.
You might forget. I mean,
Yeah, by
you're
the time
saying,
you're present, you might
Yeah.
forget what you wanted to speak.
so
So those thoughts might not be there when you want to speak. So it's better you write it and then you can practice.
okay, so that's another reason for why we should write. Are there any arguments against writing a script? We should be without a script.
You may not get a spontaneity. That is one casualty.
You may not
Writing
get a
speech.
spontaneity. Do you think so? Because when you write it down, you are speaking not really from your own heart, but you're speaking from the memory of what you have written down or something that is. So there are plus points and minuses for both. See, some people say it straitjackets you into saying only what is written. Because you have written something and you'll only speak what is written. Not say, but sometimes in speech, the pauses you give, maybe there are some things you don't even speak, but they might have an impact. Some people feel that it forces you to depend on your memory, because you have to remember on the memory. But mind you, some speeches are delivered with the papers there, and you see some of the top world leaders addressing a General Assembly of United Nations would actually have a whole sheaf of papers, which they'll be going through one after the other, because they don't want to leave anything for chance. Because it is necessary in some cases that we write, but one reason that people give is that because if you are trying to give a speech, as we Toastmasters do in international speech or in humorous speech, from our memory, we might forget something, but what it does is that we will keep only thinking of that speech and not really deliver it from our heart. Some people say, do you think that this is also true? I think this is what Mr. Rajendra was talking about, right? When he said that the spontaneity is not there. The emotions that you want to actually bring out may not be there if you are trying to remember and think of it by speaking from a message. But there are also reasons some of you have given for writing, why we should write. And one important thing, we know it helps you focus. You know your structure. You know you'll talk about this first, then you'll talk about this, then you'll talk about this. These are the words you will use. So you decide in advance exactly what you want to say. And here I want to tell you that since we as members of the Toastmasters are here, we are participating in international speech contests and humorous speech contests. So what happens here is that we will be limited to a certain time. We are not addressing huge audiences, but maybe 5 to 7 minutes. So therefore, it's very important that you know what exactly you want to speak within that time. So what I thought of doing here is, friends, because it helps you to focus on the topic and it helps you to manage time, I want to show you one master craftsman of speech, Lance Miller. I don't know if any of you have heard this, so we'll see this speech, and after that we'll just make a few comments. At the risk of my time going off, I thought seeing a master presenter giving a speech might be very good. When we were meeting and talking about what to give, I remember Jiju was saying, if we see world champion speaker, maybe it may be good for us. So I was thinking, since my speech, but I would like you to concentrate on how he wrote the speech. Let's listen to this and then see how he has written the speech. For, of course, somebody in the US and somebody who is having parking problems, this is a very, very important question. But then he went on to tell how at one point of time where he is in a place where he needed validation, he asked the girl at the reception, "Do you validate?" And she said, "Yeah, you have a good smile." And then he says, "I think you have a very good fine business associate if you come to meet my boss." And then he said, "Have you ever felt validated?" He goes on to actually talk about real life validation of somebody approving and appreciating what you have done or what you have. And he actually has fantastic sense of humor. If you listen to it, he says, I was first staying with roommates. Now when the first time he used the two roommates called mom and dad, which means for a long time he has not really tried to venture out into the world. Then again he says, when I was in Los Angeles, I had two roommates who who are the dumb and the dumber, who can make close to, but you can call them Einstein and Oppenheimer. It was a very nice way of touching on it. So in the script, if you notice, when you go home and listen to this, and I will pass on these papers, maybe if you can pass them around, what I've tried to do is I looked at this speech. You can actually dissect it and do a lot, but I've put it into three parts: what he said, and what we can understand from it, and what we can learn about writing. The way he opened, his opening was the ultimate question. What was the ultimate question? He made us curious as to find out what is the ultimate question, and by the end of the speech, we will know how he again says why that question is ultimate. And what is the ultimate question? Do you validate? And he's asking you whether you validate others in their own lives. Do you keep on criticizing others, or do you motivate them by validating others when they do something good? I think it's an amazing speech. Please go home and listen to this and look at the small notes, and I'm sure we'll be able to go. The opening. If you notice in this speech, the opening starts with a great question. And the opening paragraphs, he gets the humor, brings the audience into his hand, which is what every good speaker has to do. Then there is a small construction of how he gives his own personal story. And then he ends it with asking us, do you validate? And you know what the beauty of it is? Well, at the end of it, I know you have not heard it, but you might probably go and speak. He says, he asks the people, do you validate? And then ends by saying, you've been a great audience. The way he says, you've been a great audience, is the way he is validating, and you should see the kind of response he gets for that. So, the structure of your speech when we are writing, making sure that all those things and some of those points are there, and I will pass on these slides also, which you can get it from the area officials. Thank you very much, and it's back to you. Thank you.